Hi, I'm Karen Wright, Managing Director of Parachute Executive Coaching, and we are here again today with one of our short videos introducing the amazing coaches on the Parachute team to prospective clients. And today we are here with Damian Zikakis. Hi, Damian.
Hey, Karen. Great to be here.
So, yeah, I'm happy to be chatting with you. I know that prior to becoming a coach, you had a long and eclectic career, including being an accountant and an executive recruiter and a number of other things. Can you give me a little bit of the what drew you to coaching? Why did you decide to become a coach and pursue this as your work?
Yes. So, as I proceeded through my eclectic career, one thing that I found as a thread, particularly in the executive recruiting and the career services, was enjoyment helping people with their careers, and particularly with all stages of their careers, finding a job, being successful in that job, advancing into the executive ranks. And so it's that honestly that desire to help others with their careers that drew me to coaching and continues to motivate me.
Nice. Yeah. And I mean, career is such a multifaceted, long, there's a long thread on that, right? And I
Absolutely.
know that a big part of your work was running the Career Center at the Ross School of Business. So I find it interesting that that career focus then sort of transcended university graduates and found its way into your executive recruiting and now you go full spectrum, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
love that. Are there any special approaches or tools or things that you do that you think inform your approach to working with people in the career context, no matter what stage they're at?
There is. And it wasn't original, it wasn't part of my original approach to coaching, but it came over time. And that is really focusing on what people naturally do well, as opposed to the kind of Western approach to career management is figure out what they do poorly and then try to get them better at it.
Right, yeah.
I take sort of the strengths approach, using a particular assessment, Gallup Strengths Finder or Clifton Strengths, to help them increase their awareness of what they naturally do well, and then look at what are the threads of that throughout their career and how can they amplify that and how can they talk about it, give them a different language to talk about that, which is useful at all stages of their career.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, my own personal experience of that was in my corporate career when somebody decided that finance for non-financial managers would be the perfect way to spend money on my development. And no matter how much money anybody spends on that with me, I'm only ever going to be okay. I'm never going to be brilliant, right? Not a strength.
And doesn't bring you joy.
Does not bring me joy.
And that's one of the things that I find with strengths when we identify what they are. It's things that people enjoy doing. So they naturally do them well, they naturally invest in them. So that's kind of my secret sauce.
I love that. I love that. Um, what would what would clients say about you? How do you think, or how do you know other people describe you when they talk about you as a coach?
I would say they describe me as um, being pretty attentive and aware of subtleties, which has gotten a lot easier since we've all transitioned to Zoom or some sort of video. In
Mhm.
the past, I was, listening closely. Now that I can see them, it's much easier to tell when they're thinking about something or struggling with something. And and so oftentimes I express myself with just a look, which could be like, really? Uh, and and then I've learned to be quiet and let them process that look. Um, and so I think that that's something that, because I tend to tell stories, so I probably talk more than a coach should at times.
Uh,
But when I can communicate non-verbally, I think that that's how many of my clients would describe me, that they're surprised by the power of what I don't say.
oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I can only imagine my own reaction to seeing a look like, oh, all right. Um, and what what are your stories rooted in when you tell clients stories? Like, where do you get your stories, or how do you choose when to bring a story into a coaching situation?
Well, one of my strengths is communication. And so I communicate through stories. And the source of them is my extensive career, starting as a CPA or a CA in Canada, um, through being a CFO, through being an executive recruiter, helping, gosh, probably 75 people transition into new jobs, but probably talking to 300, 400 people as I did
Sure.
that work. And then working with literally hundreds of students and alumni over 8 years at the business school. And then just living my own life and my own career challenges of, why did I start as a CPA and end up as a coach? Like, what can we learn from that? So,
Love it. Yeah, you certainly had lots of opportunities to deal with lots of different kinds of people. What else would you want people to know about you? You know, when people choose a coach, they're not just choosing the skills and the, employment background or the experience, but they're choosing the human being. So what do you want anyone who's thinking about working with you to know about you?
so another one of my sort of innate strengths is I love to learn, which sometimes can get in the way. I can go down rabbit holes,
Oh,
but I
I'm
really do
familiar with
love to learn.
that.
And the last year, one of my learning focuses has been on plant-based food,
Oh,
uh, as opposed to, so I've become almost a vegan. I describe it as a 90% vegan. So
okay.
when I'm in my own kitchen, it's pretty much vegan. When I'm at a restaurant or out with friends, I eat whatever's there. So there's no judgment, no, like I'm not a whack job about it. But it's really based in an effort to live really healthy.
Mm,
Uh, and I love to learn. And so I bring that learning approach to everything I do. And most recently, it's been on healthy eating.
I love
Um, and I love food. So that's something, and I enjoy cooking. And my wife is a wonderful sous chef.
mm.
So I do all the figuring out what we're going to eat and mixing it up and cooking, being the one at the stove, and she's in the background chopping and cleaning up my mess, and we're a great partnership. So
Nice. That's great. And I'm
yeah,
getting ideas for a future parachute associate retreat. Okay, this is good.
there you go.
There we go. Okay. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. And yeah, now that's a little bit of an introduction to Damian Zikakis. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.